Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH The Flame Emperor episode number 111 based on novel. So let's start. After Xiao Yan and his party entered the channel on the water, within a few breaths, when they reappeared, they had come to another place. What is this place? Just after coming here through the pavilion and Hubo, several people immediately began to pay attention to it. Unfamiliar environments are undoubtedly the most dangerous. There is such a strong Emperor Qi here. Xiao Yang said slowly, the Emperor Qi here is much stronger than any other place. If you practice here, you will definitely get twice the result with half the effort. Not for cultivation. Where exactly is the mansion? Xiao Yang asked. This should be the place where the strong man fell. I feel that there is a very subtle and powerful fluctuation not far away, Long Yi said. I hope it can really help me break through the realm of the soul. Xiao Yang clenched his fist unconsciously. Obviously, this soul power is related to the level of the alchemist, and now Xiao Yang's breakthrough soul power is also imminent. The passage just now should be a method similar to the space passage. Xiao Yang analyzed, but to be able to create a space passage in such a place, the strength of the mansion owner is probably extremely tyrannical. Dad. This place is so familiar. Since she came here, Shanyao has been stunned, her voice is a little silly, and she seems to be trying to remember something. Are you alright? Xiao Yang held Shanyao's jade shoulder with his palm, and then a gentle force passed over. Yes. Shanyao responded slightly, and then suddenly there was a hint of other expression in her eyes. The place where everyone appeared could not see 5 fingers, the huge white mist directly blurred everyone's sight, but a few people vaguely discovered that there was a rather conspicuous white path under their feet. Snake punishment. What's going on? Xiao Yang was rather strange when he heard this. I don't know. Although I have been here for hundreds of years, I have never entered here. But I'm sure this is basically the mansion. Both the snake torture and the snake spirit shook their heads. Dad, let's go home. After Shanyao finished speaking, she took Xiao Yang's broad palm and walked slowly towards the path. I'm afraid there are many secrets on Shanyao's body. But it's strange, why is this white mist getting thicker and thicker? Is it my illusion? Xiao Yang smacked his tongue secretly, and then followed Shanyao to walk, but when he walked, he found that the white mist was thicker and denser than other places. Snake Spirit and Snake Xing looked at each other, and immediately followed Xiao Yang and Shanyao. After a few minutes of walking, a rather simple manor appeared in front of him. The area of the manor is extremely large, and the whole is surrounded by clouds and smoke. Only a white stone gate can be vaguely seen not far away, which has a sense of sight of a fairyland on earth. Walking along the white path, Xiao Yang discovered the true face of the manor as he got closer to the manor. That cloud of white mist emanated from the center of the manor. In the fog, a breath of fresh air kept appearing. Could it be that someone in this mansion is refining medicine pills? Why does this mist look like the fragrance of medicinal pills? Xiao Yang walked outside the manor and said slightly. After all, Xiao Yang was a genuine alchemist at the peak of the first-grade emperor rank. Although there was an extremely small amount of danxiang in the mist, Xiao Yang discovered it. Xiao Yang and the others came to the end of the stone road, and then the gate of the manor slowly appeared. Above the gate, a huge creature was embedded on it. The creature had 3 legs vaguely, and a pair of extremely huge wings were particularly conspicuous, but the forehead disappeared strangely, making Xiao Yang unable to identify the specific what creature. From the creature, Xiao Yang felt a tremendous pressure. The strength of the master of this mansion is probably unfathomable. He can actually use such a terrifying creature as a goalkeeper. Xiao Yang secretly said, but his heart was shocked. For such a terrifying guard, it would be extremely difficult to open this stone gate. I don't know what material the stone gate is made of, anyway, based on Xiao Yang's perception, it is very stiff, and with the strength of Xiao Yang and the others, I'm afraid they can't be forcibly open. In front of the stone gate, 2 stone lions face each other fiercely, lifelike. This should be the main entrance of the mansion. Snake said. But as soon as the words fell, Snake Xing became vigilant, because in this mansion, there are indeed several forces that make Snake Xing fear. There should be a lot of good things in this mansion, right? The snake spirit said slightly, then stared at Shanyao closely. Although Shanyao had always insisted that Xiao Yang was her father, the snake spirit found that Shanyao's memory and strength were intact, so she was not in a hurry. The mansion was the most important thing in front of her, and the snake spirit vaguely felt that his life experience seemed to have the answer in this mansion. There is an extremely terrifying restriction on this stone gate. This is a big problem. Xiao Yang sensed it, and then spoke slowly. This thing, I have a way, Shanyaro said slowly. What's the solution? Xiao Yang wondered. The restriction above the stone gate is not a joke, a little careless, but the end is quite miserable. Dad, give me that conch. At the next moment, Shanyao's small eyes flickered at Xiao Yang, and then her voice lost the milky voice she had just started, and she felt a little more steady. Xiao Yang heard the words, took out the conch, and handed it to Shanyao. Logically speaking, although this conch is a fairy, it is after all the token of the last member of the Qianmuyu clan. So Xiao Yang didn't want to put it in the bag, but Xiao Yang couldn't even recognize the owner of the fairy, so he could only temporarily put away the conch, and return it to Shanyao when he had a solution. Just as Shanyao started to hold the conch, a majestic force spread from Shanyao's body as the center like ripples in the water, spreading everywhere. The next moment, Shanyao gently raised the conch in her hand, and then the mouth of the conch was facing her chin, and then Bei's lips were tightly attached to it, and with a little force, the conch suddenly released a very pleasant sound. A very pleasant sound of conch shells sounded, and then the two fierce stone lions around the stone gate seemed to come alive. The two stone lions shook and moved under the sound of conch shells, and rushed directly at Shaman. Clang! With the collision of the two stone lions, the tightly closed stone door opened slightly. At the same time, a strange force from ancient times permeated from the crack of the door. With the appearance of this power, Xiao Yang's expression became extremely pleasant. With this fluctuation, the power of the soul has actually reached the peak of the Emperor's realm. It seems that there really is a soul here who may break through the peak of the Emperor's mortal level. As long as you step into the soul power of the Emperor's realm, the alchemist of the second-grade Emperor is also a matter of course. Clang! The heavy stone gate opened slowly, but at this moment, a strange force burst out from the snake spirit's body, and the next moment, it was suddenly sucked in by the stone gate. Not good. Xiao Yang drank abruptly, his speed exploded instantly, and flew towards the snake spirit. Dad, don't panic, it's your own power. Xiao Yang finally arrived a step late. The snake spirit disappeared directly in front of the three, and then Shanyao spoke slightly. The power inside. Xiao Yang hesitated, staring at Shanyao, who seemed to be extremely mysterious at this time. Let's go first. Shanyao did not respond directly to Xiao Yang's question, but spoke slightly. The next moment, the stone doors slowly opened, all of them, revealing the inside. What appeared in front of Xiao Yang was a rather exquisite stone platform. On the stone platform, several platforms appeared. On the round stone table, there was a pot of turbid wine. Go! Shanyao opened her mouth slightly, then strode in. Seeing this, Snakeshing couldn't help but be startled. After all, this is a place where a powerful person sits, otherwise it would be impossible to guard it so tightly. Following Shanyao's slow advance, Xiao Yang had just stepped into the first step of the mansion manor. Xiao Yang suddenly felt a force suppressing his body, making him very uncomfortable. That feeling seemed to suppress his soul, very depressing. Several people came to the stone table and looked around. This is a standard square building. In front of the stone table is the main living room, the refining pharmacy is on the left, the study room is on the right, and the southernmost is where Xiao Yang and the others came in. A study room? Refining the pharmacy? Xiao Yang couldn't help being surprised when he saw this. For some reason, there was a faint aura in the pharmacy that fascinated Xiao Yang. Let's go to the study first, I have some things to clarify. The three hesitated for a while, and Shanyao said directly. Where did the snake spirit go? Snakeshing asked worriedly. She's in the backyard, don't worry, nothing will happen. Shanyao saw the anxiety of the snake torture and said immediately. That's good. After the snake sentence finished, he was relieved. Let's go. Xiao Yang agreed. After all, this Shanyao was the last member of the Qianmuyu clan, and some secrets on her body also needed to be clarified. Anyway, since everyone came to this mansion, Xiao Yang was in no hurry. 1 step, 2 steps. Several people slowly came to the study. The word study room, dragon phoenix and phoenix dance, can be seen from the master at first glance, and just staring at this plaque for a while, even Xiao Yang himself felt a sense of dizziness, which is enough to make this plaque extraordinary. Creak. Xiao Yang was in the first place, without hesitation, looked at Shanyao and found that she didn't speak, and then pushed it away with confidence. I don't know why, Xiao Yang always felt that Shanyao and this manner had a little bit of a touch. Wire contact. The wooden door of the study was slowly pushed open. This time, no strange force or anything appeared, and some were just dust generated by pushing the wooden door of the study open. This study seems to be a few years old. Xiao Yan kept pushing the wooden door open with both hands, then glanced at the many books standing side by side inside, and couldn't help speaking. The next moment, Xianyao lowered her head slightly, and went in directly under Xiao Yang's hands. "Come in and have a look," Xiao Yang said, and then Snake Punishment also came in. As soon as he entered this study, Xiao Yang found that although this study was a few years old, the books were neatly organized and neatly arranged, and the strange thing was that the books in this study did not have any dust. This is what makes Xiao Yang the most strange. The study is not big, but the collection of books here is very amazing. There are thousands of kinds, and Xiao Yang can find that these books are books that record some secrets, and the outside world will definitely not have them. There are 10 bookshelves in total, and there is a writing desk next to the bookshelves. As for Xianyao, she was already holding a yellowed ancient book in both hands and reading it with relish, and then her facial expression kept changing. Obviously she knew something. Xiao Yang didn't pay attention to what book Xianyao was reading. After all, Xiao Yang didn't care too much about this kind of thing, so he just walked slowly and came to the writing desk. On the writing desk, there are some brushes and inks, and a piece of white paper laid out horizontally. "What is this?" Xiao Yang opened his mouth slightly, obviously not knowing why a blank piece of paper was placed here. Just finished speaking, his hands slowly walked away towards the white paper. Boom, boom, boom. As soon as his hands touched the white paper, a huge soul force attacked from the white paper. This blank paper is weird. After all, Xiao Yang was also an old man. His eyes were quick and his hands were quick, and his soul power twitched in an instant. "Try it with your soul power." The soul power contained on this white paper seems to be a bit like an ancient soul carrier. Long Yi suddenly spoke. "Okay." Xiao Yang was wondering, when Long Yi's voice reminded him. The next moment, Xiao Yang closed his eyes, and when he opened them again, all the dazzling soul power gathered towards the white paper. With the injection of this huge soul power, Xiao Yang discovered that some words appeared vaguely on the white paper. "Intensify your effort." Seeing this, Long Yi confirmed his thoughts and said, "Shabu shabu." Huge soul power was poured on the white paper, and in just a few breaths, nearly half of Xiao Yang's soul power was mobilized. There are words on the white paper, you can read it for yourself. After Long Yi finished speaking, he was suddenly thinking about something and kept his mouth shut. Xiao Yang recovered his soul power, but he saw some handwriting on the white paper that made Xiao Yang feel incredible. "I don't know that this junior was so lucky to discover the secret of my study. Although the whole study has a lot of books, there are very few really useful things. At the beginning, because of Immortal Emperor's mistakes, a series of mistakes were made. There are some inheritances of mine in the main living room, but you must defeat someone in the refining pharmacy to enter the living room. If someone is fortunate enough to open this blank piece of paper later, and is an alchemist, I believe you will be interested in that thing. After all, that's a 4th grade immortal rank medicinal pill." The writing on the white paper ended here, but the shock revealed between the lines was that even Xiao Yang was slightly startled. After the 3rd rank of the Emperor rank, one can advance to the 4th rank of the immortal rank. Emperor level pills and immortal level pills are not of the same level. There is actually an immortal rank pill here. After Xiao Yang finished speaking, his eyes became extremely hot. Although the Sanyez Yanlan just now is extremely expensive, Xiao Yang is not a person of fate after all. For this kind of Sanyez Yanlan who has a chance now, it is only through Xiao Yang's hand to find a suitable person with fate. But at this time, the 4th grade immortal rank medicinal pills were different. After Xiao Yang read the handwriting on the white paper, his eyes became hot, and the next moment, Xiao Yang wanted to look at the white paper, but unexpectedly the handwriting on the white paper slowly disappeared, as if he had regained his calm. It seems that this great master still has some secrets. After Xiao Yang finished speaking, he simply did not stop here. Looking around, that Shanyao had already read a lot of books, and Snakeshing was also patiently reading the books. "Did you find anything?" Xiao Yang slowly paced over, came to Shanyao, and spoke to her. "No. I am the last little princess of Tianmuyu, but I don't know much about Sister Snake Spirit's life experience." Shanyao said. As for the identity of the little princess of the Tianmuyu clan, Xiao Yang naturally told Shanyao. Although Shanyao didn't believe it at first, Shanyao gradually realized it, so she recognized it. Following Shanyao's words, Xiao Yang seemed to feel that the youngest princess in the Tianmuyu clan seemed to be extremely smart. "Don't be in a hurry, look for it slowly," Xiao Yang said comfortingly. "Yes." Shanyao responded, and then Zaidu grabbed the ancient book and found it. "Little brother Xiao Yang, did you find anything?" Snake walked towards Xiao Yang and said with a smile, because Snake just saw Xiao Yang go to the desk, as if he saw something, but Snake passed by himself. At that time, nothing was found. I didn't find anything. Xiao Yang shook his head and said, "Forget it, let's go. Although we haven't found any clues, the life experience of Sister Snake Spirit must have something to do with this mansion. I can feel it." Shan Yarrow searched for a while, but found nothing, and immediately opened his mouth. "Let's go." After Xiao Yang finished speaking, he glanced at the blank sheet of paper at the back that had already returned to calm. After Xiao Yang finished speaking, the group slowly left the study and returned to the stone table. Go to the main hall first or not? Seeing that Shan Yarrow and Xiao Yang didn't speak, Snakeshing opened his mouth slightly, and then asked for their opinions. Go to the pharmacy first. The next moment, Xiao Yang and Shan Yarrow spoke at the same time. Ah! Snakeshing was taken aback by the simultaneous opening of the two. Dad, we have a good understanding. Shan Yarrow smiled slowly. Shan Yarrow, don't call me father, it always makes me feel weird. Xiao Yang said helplessly. Every time Shan Yarrow called her father, it always made Xiao Yang think of Xiao Xiao, who was still on the Dochi continent. Then what am I going to call you? Shan Yarrow said a little unhappily. Call me Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang said casually. Then I'll call you brother Xiao Yang. After all, if you hadn't brought the token of our Qianmuyu clan, I'm afraid I would still fall asleep. Shan Yarrow smiled slightly. Even if she had accepted that Xiao Yang was the benefactor who saved their clan, she was still joking. It's up to you. Xiao Yang also smiled when he heard the words. I just saw that you found a lot of books in this study. Did you find anything? Xiao Yang said. I didn't find it, but I always felt that when my father put me and the snake spirit in the depths of the lake, it was to let the blood of Sanyez Yanlan and the three-headed water spirit snake continue to nourish our body. How did we know that we would be tortured by snakes? The big brother suddenly broke in and not only took away the blood of the 3 water snakes, but also took the 2 of us away. But I also have to thank Big Brother Snakeshing. Shan Yarrow cast a grateful look at Snakeshing. Seeing this, Snakeshing couldn't help but feel embarrassed for a while. My memory at that time is not very clear. I can only vaguely sense that I seem to have come to this mansion before, and it was brought by the snake spirit. Shan Yarrow said. What? Xiao Yang was shocked when he heard this. If Shan Yarrow and the others have visited this manor, doesn't it mean that this is their other home? If they have been here before, doesn't it mean that Snake Spirit and Shan Yao's 2 daughters have an inseparable relationship with the owner of this mansion? Xiao Yang was thinking about how the 2 snake spirits at that time were still baby girls. How could they have been here? Thinking of this, Xiao Yang couldn't help frowning. We did come here before, but I vaguely remember that we came here in a dream. Shan Yarrow said slightly. In a dream? Immortal level pharmacist. Xiao Yang's heart sank when he heard the words, as if he had guessed something. Little brother Xiao Yang, what's wrong? How old-fashioned snake punishment was, it was not difficult to see Xiao Yang's concerns. It's okay, I should have thought too much. Xiao Yang shook his head, trying his best to make himself not want to go on. After all, if you were thinking about it, it would be too shocking. Xiao Yang had vaguely heard that the soul power of immortal-level pharmacists was extremely powerful, and it was easy to implant some memories or other things between Snake Spirit and Shan Yao. Let's go to the refining pharmacy first. It should be the place where the master of this mansion refines medicine. A pharmacist who can step into the immortal rank, a pharmacy is like a rare treasure. Xiao Yang swept away the displeasure just now, and immediately laughed. Refining a pharmacy. I remember that there are indeed a lot of strange things in it. But it seems like something broke out of this pharmacy. Shan Yarobei bit her lip and said in pain. What came out? Xiao Yang asked slightly. I don't know, but that thing is very strong. At least it's similar to Big Brother Snake punishment. Shan Yarrow said solemnly with a gloomy face. Be careful. Xiao Yang was enveloped in the power of his soul, and then he vigilantly probed the surroundings. If there is really something comparable to snake torture in this refining pharmacy, then its strength, I am afraid that it has stepped into the level of the 8-star fighting emperor. An 8-star Do-D level powerhouse. I am afraid that a single slap can seriously injure Xiao Yang. Don't worry, I'm here. Snakeshing heard the words, and his heart became vigilant. Obviously, the medicine that Xiao Yang promised himself was very important to Snakeshing at this time, so even if there were really 8-star Do-D for a high-level character, snake torture will not cause Xiao Yang any problem. Not to mention the transaction between Snakeshing himself and Xiao Yang, but Xiao Yang's strength and temperament shown before is worth Snakeshing's help. Snakeshing believes that this Xiao Yang will definitely be a character in the future. Go in and have a look. Xiao Yang finished speaking, then glanced at Shan Yarrow, who was standing quietly beside the stone table. Shan Yao? Xiao Yang said slightly when he saw that there was no movement in Shan Yarrow. I'm fine, it's just brother Xiao Yang. Don't you think it's too obvious to place the pot of turbid wine on this stone table here? I vaguely remember that this pot of turbid wine was not placed here. This is clearly what was placed in the hall. How could it be placed here? And looking at the stone table, the refining pharmacy and the hall, there is not a trace of dust on the three. There must be something wrong here. Shan Yarrow finished speaking, her pupils exuding a slight chill. Is there anyone here? But why didn't I feel the breath? Xiao Yang wondered. There are indeed people here, but I don't know why there is no movement now. Forget it, maybe it's my illusion, let's go and have a look first. Shan Yarrow said a little apologetically. No, there must be someone in this mansion. According to what Shan Yarrow said, the things and houses here, except for the library, are like living people, clean and free of any dust. This must be because people live there, so be careful. Xiao Yang thought to himself, and immediately followed. This mansion is divided into a front yard and a backyard. The area of the front yard is very small. The place where the stone table is placed is only 10 meters away from the left and right sides. It is the steps of the library and pharmacy on the left and right side. Count the steps of the pharmacy carefully, there are 10 steps in total, and there is a distance of more than 1 meter. The only difference is that the door of this pharmacy is not an ordinary wooden door, but an extremely heavy stone door. A white color appeared on the stone door without any decoration. Some of it was just a doorknob with a lion's head, which was also used as a tool to open the stone door. What's wrong? The three of Xiao Yang came outside the shaman, but Shan Yarrow suddenly stopped. That thing is not here, Shan Yarrow said with relief. What is it that can actually make you feel so terrified? Xiao Yang said puzzled. I don't know what it is, but it's very powerful anyway. And this thing seems to be left here on purpose by the mansion owner. Shan Yarrow stuck out her tongue and said rather squeamishly. After Shan Yarrow finished speaking, she slowly stretched out her jade hand, and then pushed gently on the door handle of the stone door, and the stone door slowly opened. This time, Shan Yarrow and Shushing have learned to be smart. They just opened the stone gate, and the figure moved and left the stone gate for a few feet. After all, no one can clear what is behind the stone gate, so be careful. This is Danxiang. When Shaman just revealed a ray of light, a strong fragrance of Danxiang burst out, and then the door was completely filled. It's so fragrant. Shan Yarrow, who was beside her, took a few greedy breaths and said immediately. It should be fine, yes. Xiao Yang's huge soul perception spread out in an instant. He didn't find any danger, and immediately said to Shan Yarrow and the snake. After Xiao Yang finished speaking, regardless of the two behind him, he slowly paced towards the pharmacy behind the stone gate. Since this is the place where immortal-level pharmacists refine medicines, the wealth in this place is probably not an exaggeration to say that it is rich enough to rival a country. However, what Xiao Yang cares about is not these things. According to the white paper in the library just now, the best things in this manor should be in that hall, but Xiao Yang believes that the pharmacy will not let him disappointed. As soon as he walked into the pharmacy, Xiao Yang was surprised to find that the pharmacy was huge. Although it seems to the outside world, there is only a space of less than 10 meters, but there is another space in this refining pharmacy. You don't have to think about it. Pharmacists have strict requirements for places where medicinal pills are made. The place where medicinal pills are made must not only be ventilated, but also the flow of wind can make the flames more violent, and the time for making medicinal pills will be shortened accordingly. Secondly, a sealed environment is required. After all, refining medicine pills can't be sloppy at all. Otherwise, in the process of refining medicine pills, there is no time to be distracted. Once there is any movement or enemy, the alchemist will either give up the refining medicine pill, either directly as a living target of others, otherwise there is no other way. In addition, the place where the alchemist refines the medicinal herbs also needs a lot of jade articles used to hold various medicinal herbs, because most medicinal herbs are pure medicinal power. For smoke. It's really a good medicine refining space. Rao was envious of Xiao Yang's eyesight. The space here is a full 100 meters in size. In the entire space, dozens of rows of wooden tables are the main ones. The wooden table can be seen to be of extraordinary quality at a glance. On the table, one by one exquisite jade articles are slowly lined up, and the discerning person can see this jade article at a glance. Apparently it was used to hold medicine pills. Dozens of wooden tables take up 1/3 of this space. It was just that Xiao Yang discovered that among these jade articles, there was not a single pill, they were all empty. Strange. I remember when I came here, there were pills here. How did it all disappear? Shan said in surprise, her small eyes constantly scanning the surroundings. Obviously she couldn't believe what was in front of her. There seems to be something in there. Xiao Yang searched for a while to no avail. He also shook his head secretly, and then slowly walked towards the back of the dozens of tables. Where, I think it should be the place where the pharmacist refines the medicinal pills. This is. Xiao Yang slowly came to the back, but he didn't find the pill cauldron used by the alchemist. A truly excellent pharmacist, the flame is like the soul of a pharmacist. With a more terrifying flame, not only the refining time will be greatly shortened, but even the quality of the medicinal pill will be higher, and the medicine tripod is like the hands and feet of the pharmacist. After all, it is the truth that a clever woman can't cook without rice. There should be a giant cauldron here, why is there no more? Shan also followed and said slowly, the medicine cauldron used by the alchemist of the immortal rank is an extraordinary product, but there are clearly traces of the medicine cauldron here, why is it missing? Xiao Yang said slowly. Immediately looking at the grass in front of him, he thought, could it be that this medicine cauldron was taken first? But in this desert mountain range deep in the lonely desert of death is separated from the Medusa temple. There should be very few people who want to enter here. After all, the arrogance and domineering of the Medusa family are not so easy to talk about. Break the strangeness, where did the medicine cauldron here go? Xiao Yang said slightly. Forget it, this refining pharmacy is also a place with nothing. Snake Xing also looked around and found that there is really nothing worth shooting in this refining pharmacy, so he simply said. It seems that this mansion is not as simple as we imagined. Shan Yao, think about it carefully, do you remember anything? At this time, Xiao Yang could only pin his hopes on Shan Yao. I must have been here before, but it was probably when I was a baby, so my memory is extremely vague. Shan Yao recalled hard. When you were a baby? Xiao Yang slowly shook his head. According to Xiao Yang's guess, it should have been decades when Shan Yao was in a coma, but it has not been 100 years. If even Shan Yao says she can't remember, then you have to be very careful here. Wait, I seem to remember. There seems to be something about soul power in the hall. Just when Xiao Yang was about to go to the hall or the backyard first, Shan Yao's voice suddenly sounded. Soul power? Xiao Yang suddenly laughed when he heard the word. Because of the smile, of course, I feel that there is something similar to soul power in this mansion, but I don't know where it is. Even if the white paper in the library was in the hall, Xiao Yang secretly guarded against it. Since Shan Yao said it now, Xiao Yang also believed the handwriting on the white paper. Since there is nothing in the pharmacy, let's go to the hall first. Xiao Yang said with a smile. Brother Xiao Yang, I can feel that there is something very terrifying in this mansion. The aura of that thing seems to be similar to the medicinal pill here. Shan Yao said with a small face and a serious face. Yep. Don't worry, it's me. Xiao Yang raised his head slightly, then without hesitation, he walked directly towards the door of the refining pharmacy, preparing to go to the hall to have a look. Shan Yao and Snake Xing also followed. The backyard of the manor. There is a distance of several hundred meters from the front yard. The backyard is different from the front yard. The front yard is mostly a place to entertain guests for dinner and talks. As for the backyard, it is the real mansion. The area of the backyard is much larger than that of the front yard. The backyard is built on the water surface and is all made of wood. It is strange to say that the ground in the front yard is covered with stones. Naturally, Xiao Yang and the others did not notice the difference between this mansion, but from the backyard, the distribution of this mansion is clear at a glance. This mansion is actually built on the water. This is extremely appalling. Because the water in this mansion is different from ordinary ones, the water here has a strong restriction, no flying, so if you want to build a manor with such a huge area on top of this mansion, I am afraid its energy is quite large. In a room in the backyard, traces of white mist constantly emanated from a beautiful box, and then slowly spread out through the house. If Xiao Yang were here, he would definitely find that the fog was the culprit that caused the entire desert mountain range to be surrounded by fog all day long. Why are you so troubled? Originally, when you were babies, you came to this mansion once. At that time, I was only a young pill, but thanks to that old guy, I became who I am today. He is a man of arrogance. The man's gorgeous clothes, sharp edges and corners, and handsome face, matched with that refined elegance, very vividly resembles a poet who is full of poetry and book. Humph. I don't know what you said. The snake spirit's hands were bound by a rather strange force. The more the snake spirit struggled, the tighter the restraint became. At this time, the snake spirit looked stunned, and then looked at the man sitting next to him, and did not care that because of the struggle, the restraint made his wrists red. The daughter of immortal Master Crazy Wood is truly extraordinary. The man clapped his hands and applauded. Immortal Master Mad Wood. The snake spirit heard the words, and the delicate pupils seemed to recall something. You lied to me, who the am I? The next moment, the snake spirit shook his head suddenly, then glared at the man. Hehe, it seems that you and the little princess of the Qianmuyu clan both forgot. But that's fine, let me catch the little princess of the Qianmuyu, and I'll tell you guys slowly. Immortal Master Crazy Wood. Have you ever imagined that the 4th grade immortal rank young pill that you were least optimistic about at the time controlled the life and death of your daughter and the last member of the Qianmuyu clan? The man just finished speaking, the figure weirdly disappeared into the room, leaving only the snake spirit. Asshole. Let's go after that. The snake spirit cursed secretly. However, the snake spirit's big eyes turned slightly at this time, obviously thinking about other things. Since it's a mansion and manor, why do you think there will be a familiar feeling? What exactly is this place? And the aura on the man just now, I'm afraid that his strength will not be inferior to that of Big Brother Snake Punishment. Now it's going to be troublesome. After the snake spirit finished speaking, he also looked around the room. This is just the front yard of the manor. After we go to the hall to get that thing, let's go to the backyard to have a look. I always feel that the snake spirit is there. Shan Yarrow said, a little worried about the snake spirit. Yes. Xiao Yang responded. After speaking, several people also came to the front of the hall. In front of the hall, the door was tightly closed, and above the door, 2 large characters slowly appeared in front of the 3-wooden hall. 2 conspicuous characters appeared in front of Xiao Yang slowly, as if possessing other mysterious powers. Just when Xiao Yang stared at it, a feeling of trepidation suddenly appeared. There are 10 steps from the door. Xiao Yang and a few people looked at each other, and then frowned. The hall here is obviously not simple. He took a step slowly with his left foot, and Xiao Yang saw that there was no change, so he felt relieved and strode up. After a few breaths, Xiao Yang came to the door of the hall. Through the door, Xiao Yang vaguely discovered that there seemed to be something in the hall slowly emitting light. I'll come this time, I always feel that something is staring at us secretly. Just when Shan Yarrow was about to open the door, Xiao Yang said, this little human 5-star fighting emperor in the early stage can actually have such a keen perception. Seeing his perception is so terrifying, he should also be an alchemist. Alchemist, I hate this kind of person the most in my life. But what exactly is in this wooden hall? I've existed for hundreds of years and I haven't noticed anything wrong. A few dozen meters away from Xiao Yang and the others, in a dark corner, the mysterious man who was in the backyard just now spoke slowly. Hey! Xiao Yang placed his palm lightly on the door, and then slowly displayed his strength. But the next moment, Xiao Yang felt strange. Because this door is very strange. The power you just displayed was actually eaten by this door? This is something that has never happened before. I just went to the library pavilion or the refining pharmacy, and there is no such situation. Why is this hall? Moreover, Xiao Yang discovered that this aspect swallowed up his own power and ignored the fighting spirit of the power of the different fire, but Xiao Yang's soul power was absorbed a lot, which shocked Xiao Yang. What's going on here? Xiao Yang stopped his hand instantly, then frowned slightly, thinking about the weirdness of this wooden hall. This place seems to be open like this. Brother Xiao Yang, give me the conch. The next moment, Shan Yarrow suddenly said. Xiao Yang took out the conch and handed it directly to Shan Yarrow. As soon as the conch started, Shan Yao's aura couldn't help but become stronger. Immediately, instead of blowing the conch, Shan Yarrow lifted the conch slightly with her jade hand, and slammed it directly at the door. Clang! With a sound, the tightly closed wooden hall door, under the blow of Shan Yarrow conch, was not damaged at all, but slowly opened. Seeing this, Shan Yarrow returned the conch to Xiao Yang contentedly. Xiao Yang didn't delay, just put it away, and then stared intently at the slowly opening door. Here, if it is as the white paper said, then there will be a few rich treasures here. That treasure is likely to be the key to helping Xiao Yang break through to the 2nd rank Emperor rank alchemist. I didn't expect this human to actually have a token of the patriarch of the Qianmuyu clan. No wonder Shan Yarrow would help him so much. The voice of the sea, this is the most terrifying fairy weapon of the Tianmu fish family. However, in this wooden hall, I am also very curious, what exactly did Immortal Master Crazywood put in it? After the man finished speaking, he suddenly moved slowly, facing behind Xiao Yang. This video will end here.